Imagine a scenario where you're working on a crucial Salesforce project and you realize that some of the data entered into the system is incorrect. This situation is far from ideal, isn't it? And it's not just about the hassle of correcting the errors. The implications of such inaccuracies can be far-reaching and detrimental to your business. Now, let's take a step back and delve into why data validation is so significant in Salesforce. In the realm of data, accuracy is king. Salesforce, being a powerful customer relationship management tool, thrives on the quality of data it houses. Incorrect data can lead to misleading reports and analytics, which can skew your understanding of customer behavior, sales trends, and more. Imagine making key business decisions based on faulty data. The consequences can be severe, affecting your business strategy, customer relationships, and bottom line. But it's not just about avoiding wrong decisions. Data validation also plays a crucial role in saving time and reducing errors. Think about it. Manually checking and correcting data can be a time-consuming, error-prone process. But with robust data validation, this task becomes more streamlined and reliable, saving you valuable time and resources. And let's not forget the overall data quality. A system with validated data ensures that your data is consistent, reliable, and accurate. It boosts the value of your data, making it a reliable source for insights and decision-making. This increases the credibility and efficiency of your Salesforce system, making it a powerful tool in your business arsenal. So, we've established the importance of data validation in Salesforce. But how do we ensure that the data entered into our Salesforce system is accurate and reliable? How do we mitigate the risk of data errors that can lead to incorrect reports, misleading analytics, and potentially flawed business decisions? So the question is, how can we prevent these data errors from occurring in the first place? The answer lies in Salesforce's validation rules. Validation rules in Salesforce offer a solution to the problem of data errors. They're essentially a set of criteria that Salesforce checks against the data entered into a record. Think of them as a gatekeeper, ensuring that the data meets certain standards before it can be saved. This mechanism helps maintain the integrity and reliability of your data by preventing the entry of incorrect or incomplete information. Now, let's delve a bit deeper. Validation rules in Salesforce work on the principles of logic. They use a formula expression that returns a value of either true or false. If the expression returns true, it means that the data entered violates the rule, and Salesforce blocks the save operation. On the other hand, if the expression returns false, it means the data is in line with the rule, and Salesforce allows the save operation. The beauty of validation rules is that they are customizable. You can create rules that suit your specific business needs. For instance, you can set up a rule to ensure that a discount percentage does not exceed a certain limit, or that a required field is not left blank. In addition to the formula expression, a validation rule also includes an error message. This message is displayed when a user tries to save a record that violates the rule. It informs the user about the nature of the error, helping them understand what needs to be corrected. It's important to note that validation rules in Salesforce are not just for new data. They also apply to existing records that are being updated. This ensures that your data remains consistent and accurate over time. In sum, validation rules are a powerful tool in Salesforce. They help prevent data errors, enforce data standards, and improve overall data quality. They are like a vigilant sentinel, keeping watch over your data and ensuring only the right information gets through. Now that we have a basic understanding of validation rules, it's time to learn how to create one. Creating a validation rule in Salesforce is a straightforward process. It's like setting up a gatekeeper that ensures the data entering your system fulfills your specific business requirements. So, let's dive right into it. First things first, you need to navigate to the Validation Rules section. This is done by clicking on the Setup cogwheel icon at the top right corner of your Salesforce homepage. Then, in the Quick Find box, type Validation Rules. Click on the Validation Rules option that appears in the drop-down menu. Now that we are in the right place, it's time to create a new rule. Click on the New Rule button. This will open a new validation rule form. Here, you will give your rule a name. For our example, let's call it Email Format Check. Remember, it's crucial to give your rule a meaningful name that reflects its function. Next, we need to define the rule criteria. This is the heart of your validation rule, where you specify the conditions that the data must meet. In our case, we want to ensure that an email field contains a valid email format. To do this, we'll use the regex function. In the formula field, we'll enter something like not regex email plus at plus 2 4. This formula checks if the email entered matches the standard email format. After defining the rule criteria, we need to set an error condition. This is when the validation rule fires. You can choose either formula evaluates to true or record is created or edited. For our example, we'll select the latter. This means our rule will check the email format every time a record is created or edited. The final step is creating a meaningful error message. This message will be displayed when the data entered doesn't meet the rule criteria. In our case, it could be something like, please enter a valid email address. You also need to specify where this error message will be displayed. You can choose to display it either at the top of the page or next to a specific field. For our example, let's display it next to the email field. Once you've filled in all the details, click on Save, and voila! You've just created a validation rule in Salesforce. But remember, the rule is only as good as its implementation. So, always test your rule to ensure it works as expected. So there you have it, a step-by-step guide to creating a validation rule in Salesforce. It might seem a bit technical at first, but with a little practice, it becomes second nature. Remember, validation rules are your allies in maintaining data integrity. With these steps, you've successfully created a validation rule in Salesforce. And remember, the quality of your data is the foundation of your business decisions, so make sure it's solid. Once you've created a validation rule, it's essential to test it to ensure it works as expected. Testing a validation rule is a critical step in the process, and it's surprisingly straightforward in Salesforce. First, navigate to the record that your validation rule applies to and try to save it with data that should violate the rule. If your validation rule is set up correctly, Salesforce will prevent you from saving the record and display the error message you've specified in your rule. This immediate feedback is a powerful feature of Salesforce's validation system, allowing you to see your rule in action and verify its functionality. However, sometimes things don't go as planned, and you might encounter issues during testing. Don't fret. Debugging is part and parcel of the process. For instance, if your validation rule isn't triggering when it should, check the rules formula. A common mistake is incorrect field references. Also, ensure that you've activated the rule. It's easy to forget this step in the hustle and bustle of rule creation. On the other hand, if your rule is triggering too often, it might be too strict. Consider revising your validation logic. Remember, testing isn't just about making sure your validation rules work. It's about ensuring they work correctly, catching the right errors while letting valid data through. Keep iterating, refining, and testing until you've got it just right. Remember, a well-tested validation rule is a reliable safeguard against data errors. We've covered a lot about validation rules in Salesforce, so let's take a moment to recap. We began by underscoring the crucial role that data validation plays in Salesforce. Ensuring data consistency and accuracy is not just a good-to-have feature, but a necessity in the world of business. It prevents errors, maintains data integrity, and ultimately drives effective decision-making. Next, we delved into the concept of validation rules in Salesforce. We learned that these are the set conditions that must be met before data can be saved in the system. They act like gatekeepers, only allowing data that meets specific criteria to pass through. This ensures that only high-quality and relevant data is stored. keeping the database clean and reliable. We then walked through the step-by-step process of creating these validation rules. It's not as daunting as it sounds. With a clear understanding of the data requirements and a bit of logical thinking, anyone can create effective validation rules. Finally, we touched upon the importance of testing and debugging these rules. This step is crucial to ensure that the rules work as expected and don't block valid data or allow invalid data. It's all about striking the right balance. Mastering validation rules is a significant step towards maintaining high-quality data in Salesforce. Keep practicing and you'll soon be an expert.